Welcome to Seattle Public Utilities Ask Evelyn Live, where we answer your questions about recycling, compost, garbage, and other trashy topics. I'm your host, Becca Fong. And this week's episode, don't get April fooled by these non-recyclable items. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Becca, how's it going? Good to see
It's
you.
going good. How are you?
Good. Back at it. Good old Ask Evelyn show. Loving it.
I know. Thank you guys for joining us. And this week's episode is right on the heels of Recycle Madness, except we're talking about not getting fooled by non-recyclable items that are often hiding in that recyclable lane.
Yeah, good question this week. Okay, so should I jump right into it?
Sure, absolutely.
All right. Question comes into the Ask Evelyn inbox. Says, hi, Evelyn. I ordered a set of headphones that came in a bunch of packaging. It looks like it should be recyclable, but I'm not sure. It came in a paper bubble wrap envelope. The headphones were in a plastic shell glued with paper and inside a plastic bag that has recycle symbols all over it. Is this recyclable or not? Thanks, Ted. Well, quick answer.
Oh man, Ted, really good question. And unfortunately, none of these three things are recyclable. You've got mixed materials with the paper and bubble wrap envelope, with that plastic that's attached to the paper. That's just essentially another mixed material, low value grade plastic. And then flexible plastic bags. I don't care what kind of symbols are on it. That stuff is not recyclable. But let's get into the details and break each of these things down one by one. So maybe we should start with the envelope, Pat?
Sure. I mean, we talked about it last week during the show.
Yeah.
During the Recycle Madness show. The bubble envelope is very commonly used for home delivery products and things.
So many of those.
Many of those out there, different types and styles. It sounds like the one from Ted is a paper with bubble on the inside. So it's a combined material, not recyclable, different than the all plastic versions and also different from the all fiber versions. There's actually padded envelopes that have just the fiber in between the inner and outer envelope. So the one that Ted describes, garbage, unfortunately, because it's a glued together, two different materials, can't sort them out, so they're not recyclable.
Totally. I mean, we talk about it all the time. For stuff to go in the commingled cart, you need to be able to sort it, and there has to be a market. So the mixed material, there's no way to really separate it. It'll get mixed in with something else. All right, so that plastic that's glued to the paper, though.
Yeah, so on the wrapper around it's sort of like it's called a bubble wrap or a blister pack is the term.
Blister pack,
Got my terminology mixed up there. So blister pack, it's kind of for folks to think about, it's like a Duracell package. It has paperboard, and then where the product is, it has a little plastic windowed compartment.
Yeah, like stuck on the front.
Yeah, like squished together between a bunch of glue and paper. So you can peel off a lot of the paper for recycling, but the plastic blister pack is usually got like glue and paper all around it. And it's not accepted. I mean, if you look at the lookup tool, blister packs are not accepted in our curbside program.
Absolutely. That's a really good reminder that when in doubt, find out. Check stuff out on the Where Does It Go tool. We're always adding more entries and more information there. So if you don't find anything there, make sure to drop us a note and we'll put it in there. And then the third thing is, I had a question about this at my own house this very week. Is like there was this tiny little plastic sleeve, right? So it's flexible film plastic, and it had like 4 different recycled symbols in all different languages, and they all had different letters on them. And my family was asking, is this recyclable? I'm like, this is not recyclable in any way, even though it has all the markings on it and people would think that it is. And I tell them all the time, the chasing arrows are not an indication of the recyclability of something. So,
well, flexible film plastics, like plastic bags, that kind of stuff. Most of that product, as long as it's not the super loud, crinkly type, like a potato chip bag or some sort of like cellophane, which is a brand name, but a type of product you might get around a bouquet of flowers. Those kind of plastics, no go. Those are garbage. But if it's just another form, another little bag, another little sleeve, that maybe like you buy a TV and it comes now wrapped in this stuff that's almost like foam wrap. And, but that's like an expanded poly bag product. So a lot of that stuff is just number 4 plastic. I know we don't go by numbers, but it is a type that is accepted in the plastic bag commingle program. Now that's not a curbside program. That's a take back drop off program. You got to find a participating grocery store or Target or someone like that who has a bin for these mixed plastic film, plastic bag type plastics. But yeah, these flimsy, loose plastics that sounds like Ted is describing what you might have had in your house is it's not, definitely not for the blue bin. Definitely not a traditional recyclable, but it can often, even those small sizes, they can be stuffed into other bags because it's all plastic film or plastic wrap. So yeah, it's good to use we have in our home, right next to the garbage and the commingled recycled tub under the sink.
Right.
We always just keep a bag there for random plastic wrappers. Like you buy a box of tea and it comes wrapped in plastic.
Totally.
All those sort of like different little bits of plastic wrap, as long as it's not the crinkly type. No, we're not talking about crinkle plastic, just the kind of soft plastic bag type plastics. Those are all okay.
Totally. I mean, there's so much packaging out there. I mean, I think it's a really good recap. So we've got that paper bubble wrap envelope, mixed material. And remember, to go in commingled, it's got to be sortable and there's got to be a market. With that mixed material paper bubble wrap envelope, it's not recyclable really in any way because you can't sort it. There's no market to separate the two things. That kind of plastic blister pack with the paper around it, the paper is recyclable, but that plastic's just got all that glue and extra paper on it. You're just going to have to put that in the trash. And then with the little like plastic film sleeve, totally, Pat, like stick it into your other bag that you're going to take back to a retail location. You can find them at bagandfilmrecycling.org. You can also look them up on the Where Does It Go lookup tool, which is really where we want to send you guys all the time for more information, for sure. So yeah, good question. And right on the heels of Recycle Madness, quick reminder, thank you guys all who tuned in and who submitted your brackets. We got some stuff that's coming out to you. And a reminder to all 32 of those items versus the items we talked about today, all of those things are recyclable. Some of them require some special handling, but a lot of those things can be taken care of. But there's a lot of lookalikes out there. There's a lot of stuff in that system that's out there that, just like Ted's question, is set up to kind of confuse you, to think like, well, it seems like it could be recyclable.
Don't be fooled.
Don't be fooled, folks.
Don't be fooled.
Exactly.
I like
so
it.
When in doubt, find out. Look it up on the Where Does It Go tool. So, and
it was fun to go over, 32 items that are fully recyclable, in our community, not necessarily in the blue card, but fully recyclable. That was fun. Now I think it's time for us to focus on the things that are maddening and not recyclable.
Yes, there will be a lot and there are so many of those.
There are so many.
So thank you so much, Ted, for sending your question. And all of you, definitely keep them coming. You can send us notes on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or you can send us an email at askevelyn@seattle.gov because we love hearing from you guys. It keeps this show going. So one quick reminder is that it is collection event season. So speaking of those harder to recycle items, we are partnering with Recology to offer a kind of, we call them reuse and recycling collection events where you can bring hard to recycle items like clothing, light bulbs, paper for shredding, all of that stuff. You can drop that off for free at our event, which is going to be this coming Saturday at St. Joe's, which is up on Capitol Hill.
Right.
So check out, we'll put a link in the show notes, seattle.gov/utilities/beyond the cart. And we'll have all the information about upcoming collection events there. So, all right.
Great.
Fantastic. So thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. Keep those questions coming, and we will see you again next week, Wednesday, 1:30. And with that, I'm Becca Fong. And remember, life's simpler with less stuff.
And I'm Pat Kaufman. Remember to recycle right. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.